Owners of exotic animals in Ohio might have to get rid of them by 2014. Legislators finalized a framework proposal last week banning a number of exotic animals. Athens area legislator Debbie Phillips joins us now in our studio. Thanks for being here this evening.
Thanks for having me.
So the legislation has been moving through since the incident in Zanesville just a few months ago. Tell me what they have been proposing as part of this ban and moving the legislation through.
The bill that I introduced was based on the Strickland executive order, really as a starting place for work on this issue. But Governor Kasich's work group has been meeting over the past couple of months to look at some specific recommendations and get input from a bunch of different stakeholder groups. Those recommendations include things that, including banning private ownership of large, dangerous, exotic animals, but would require people who do have these animals to be affiliated with a zoo or a species preservation program, have appropriate insurance, have perimeter fencing, have inspections and vet checks to make sure the animals are being taken care of. It's really primarily about public safety and about making sure that people who do have these animals have the proper resources and training and support to care for them safely.
So it wouldn't necessarily be an all-out ban, no exotic animals allowed, they just won't necessarily be allowed as pets.
That would be the essential distinction. So if an individual was working with a zoo or with a species preservation program, they would be able to, if they met all these other requirements, keep these animals. But it would not allow the kind of situation that we saw unfold in Zanesville, where a private individual has the animals essentially as pets. And if you followed that story, you know that they were in inadequate facilities, unsafe conditions, that there were problems over a period of time with that particular owner. So with this licensure and with the inspections, we'd be able to prevent a situation like that from occurring in the future.
Do you think a lot of the exotic animal owners in Ohio are unlawful, not safe owners, or do you think they mostly are responsible ones?
You know, I think that we don't know what's out there. I think that most people who have these animals care about them very deeply and want to do what's right. I just don't know if they all have the resources that they need to be able to safely care for these animals.
And as far as the legislation goes, when do you think is a realistic date that people will have to get rid of them and have them registered?
The current proposal is looking at 2014. The legislative process is very hard to predict in terms of how long it takes to actually get a bill through, but I think with the international attention on Ohio because of the tragedy in Zanesville, there's a lot of interest in trying to make sure we have proper regulations in place.
And just briefly, what would you say to the animal owners that are opposing this ban?
I would encourage anyone who has concerns about it to get in touch with me, get in touch with other legislators. I think that there is always an opportunity to make improvements in legislation. Our first interest has to be in public safety, but within that larger framework, if there are things that people think we can do to make the bill better, I'm open to suggestions.
Well, thank you so much for being here this evening. It was great to have you.
Thank you.